Despite signs of modest growth in early 2023, persistent high inflation and the global financial market turmoil have proven too strong and dampened hopes of a robust recovery. Mr. Speaker, the price of crude oil declined by 15.7% between August 2022 and February 2023. This was due to a weakened demand, largely attributed to a huge decline in oil consumption in China. According to IMF's World Economic Outlook Update, July 2023, crude oil prices are projected to fall from an average of $96.4 a barrel to $73.1 a barrel in 2023. However, gold and cocoa prices have performed better than anticipated. Mr. Speaker, on the domestic front, global developments severely impacted the domestic economy. The performance of key indicators in 2022 as follows. Overall, real GDP growth declined from 5.1% in 2021 to 3.1% in 2022. This was lower than the 3.5% projected for the year. Non-oil GDP growth declined over the period, recording a growth of 3.8% compared to 6.6% recorded in 2021. Headline inflation accelerated consecutively from 13.9% in January to 29.8% in June and to a peak of 54% in December 2022, following the sharp currency depreciation and surge in commodity prices. Interest rates broadly trended upwards across the spectrum of the yield curve, consistent with the tightening policy stance. The 91-day and 182-day Treasury bill rates increased to 35.48% and 36.23% respectively in December 2022, from 12.49% and 13.19% respectively in the same period 2021. Cumulatively, the Ghana cedi depreciated by 30.0%, 21.2%, and 25.3% against the US dollar, the pound sterling, and the euro, respectively. This, compared with an appreciation of 3.5% against the euro and a depreciation of 4.1% and 3.1% against the US dollar and the pound, respectively, in 2021. And gross international reserves declined by $3.457 billion to $6.238 billion to 2.7 months of import cover. Mr. Speaker, on the fiscal front, there were several key developments in 2022. Government sought to, among others, strengthen its fiscal consolidation program, which commenced in 2021. The objective was to gradually return to the Fiscal Responsibility Act thresholds of a fiscal deficit of no more than 5% of GDP. The strategy included pursuing a strong revenue-led consolidation to complement expenditure rationalization measures. However, owing to the several factors, government fiscal policy suffered major setbacks from both external and domestic shocks. Mr. Speaker, before discussing the 2022 fiscal outturns, we would like to note that the fiscal anchor in the context of the IMF-supported PCPEG is the primary balance on commitment basis. To align with this requirement, government therefore had indicated in paragraph 210 of the 2023 budget statement that the fiscal accounts will henceforth be reported on commitment basis, thereby taking into account outstanding and paid commitments of government. Mr. Speaker, the assessment on commitment basis promotes transparency, enables a real-time monitoring of government. 7 million in 2021. Out of the amount transferred, the Ghana Heritage Fund received 174 million against 68 million in 2021, while the Ghana Stabilization Fund received 407.06 million compared to 159.24 million in 2021. The total amount transferred in 2022 from petroleum liftings and related proceeds to the annual budget funding amount was $526.31 million compared to $352.79 million in 2021. Mr. Speaker, on public debt developments, as at end December 2022, Ghana's central government debt and guaranteed debt in nominal terms stood provisionally at 435.3 billion, up from 351.8 billion at end 2021, representing an increase of 23.7%. Using the revised GDP released by the Ghana Statistical Services in April 2023, the debt-to-GDP ratio as at end 2022 stood at 71.3%. Mr. Speaker, the composition of the total debt stock was made up of provisional amount of 240.9 billion, equivalent to 39.5% of GDP, and 194.4 billion, equivalent to 31.8% of GDP, for external and domestic debt, respectively. Mr. Speaker, I now proceed to update the House on the performance of the economy since January 2023 and the reason why there's a consensus that we are indeed turning the corner. Available data indicates that overall first quarter growth for 2023 was 4.2%, up from 3% recorded for the same period in 2022. This growth, Mr. Speaker, largely reflected an increase in the services sector, which recorded a growth of 10.1%. Headline inflation eased in the first half of 2023 from the peak of 54.1% in December 2022. Headline inflation gradually trended downwards from 53.6% in January 2023 to 42.5% in June 2023.